Tonight, the Supreme Court weighing a monumental decision that could decide the presidential election, whether Republican frontrunner Donald Trump should be banned from the ballot. But many of the justices today seeming highly skeptical of Colorado's decision to disqualify him.
It just doesn't seem like a state call.
The justices forced to grapple with Mr. Trump's eligibility for office after 6 voters in Colorado successfully sued to get him removed from the state's primary ballot by pointing to his actions on January 6 and a provision in the 14th Amendment that disqualifies those who engaged in insurrection or rebellion from holding public office again.
The attack was incited by a sitting president of the United States to disrupt the peaceful transfer of presidential power.
All 9 justices, both conservative and liberal, appearing to bristle at the potential far-reaching consequences of Colorado's argument.
The question that you have to confront is why a single state should decide who gets to be president of the United States. That seems quite extraordinary, doesn't it?
Chief Justice John Roberts later raising the idea of the 14th Amendment being used as a political weapon by Democrats and Republicans alike.
It'll come down to just a handful of states that are going to decide the presidential election. That's a pretty daunting consequence.
Mr. Trump's lawyer arguing Congress, not states, must decide who's eligible for the presidency, and that the former president did not engage in insurrection.
This was a riot. It was not an insurrection. The events were shameful, criminal, violent, all of those things, but it did not qualify as insurrection.
But 91-year-old Norma Anderson, one of the voters who brought the case, says she's not backing down, even if she loses.
We just have to work hard to beat Donald Trump, because he will destroy our democracy.
At the ballot box as opposed to at the courthouse.
Yep.
Mr. Trump also reacting to today's oral arguments.
I thought our arguments were very, very strong. Can you take the person that's leading everywhere and say, hey, we're not going to let you run? You know, I think that's pretty tough to do, but I'm leaving it up to the Supreme Court.
Laura, when could we see a decision here?
Well, Lester, the justices know that Super Tuesday is just around the corner on March 5th. That's when voters in Colorado and more than a dozen states go to the polls. I'd expect to see a decision from this court well before then, Lester.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.